This conference will now be recorded.
All right, I'd like to call Harbor Advisory Committee to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Clark.
Here.
Peterson. Luther.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Maybe.
Here.
Mo. Stellick.
Here. All right, we have quorum. On to approval of agenda and any modifications. Are there any modifications to the existing agenda? If not, can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? On to approval of prior meeting minutes. Any alterations from the June 6th meeting?
Make a motion to accept as presented.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. On to business doc update.
So we have recently gotten word from Eagle that we are now in the 20-day waiting period for public comment. That public comment period ends August 27th.
Yep.
And so we could be issued the permit as soon as the 28th. I have already made MacArthur Construction aware of this timeline, and hopefully they will be getting back to me shortly with a schedule for when they can pencil us in for the work.
How much are they going to charge for this?
Was it 74?
Yeah, John, something. Yeah.
Yeah.
34,000?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Really?
You're in the wrong business.
Hmm?
You're in the wrong business.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
It's actually quite a bit. The total project will be a little bit, quite a bit under what we proposed.
Oh, really? Okay, good. So maybe hopefully by fall we'll have it done.
I guess I thought we were already in the 20-day waiting period. No, okay.
He sent me something back that said, well, this isn't that type of project. You need to check this box. That's okay. So I opened it up and I checked the box and sent it back to him. And so then it was 3 weeks later, and now he says that we're in the 20-day waiting period.
All right.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. Was somebody going to say, no, we're not going to do it?
Right.
All right. Okay, so 28th and hopefully. Okay.
Any questions for Kevin regarding doc updates? All right. Brown Trout Festival.
It actually went a lot better than anyone anticipated, even from the organization. Phil and I are going to be working a little bit more closely together to plan next year's to kind of make it a little bit better and more inclusive for families, as well as a better way to give back to the community. So if anyone's going to be volunteering again next year, I think we'll be working pretty closely together. So I think next year's will be bigger and better than even this year's. So I did notice that Family Day and the Veterans Dinner were, aside from the Super Tournament, were the most busy. And so I think we're going to try to lean into that, more of that kind of stuff, and just kind of improve, build, and make it better.
Do we know approximate numbers of how many people?
I haven't yet asked Phil what they had as far as approximate numbers, but he's still kind of recuperating from the whole ordeal because he got shoved into the big tent by himself for most of every weekend.
You made a comment about parking, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot. Do you think we can improve the parking situation?
That is one of the really big things I'm going to insist that they improve, because I don't think it's in everybody's best interest to have a festival and then have the people who are volunteering and working at said festival park everywhere. So that is one of the big things I will be a lot more firm on in coming years.
Okay. Any other questions for Brown Trout? All right. On to September Walleye Tournament.
It is, are we allowed to talk about it in public?
Ooh, now I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I mean, it's next month. Let's hope it's.
It wouldn't be a bass tournament.
I just know about the one next June, next July.
All right. Well, apparently there's going to be a national circuit walleye tournament here in Alpena in September. And so,
No, that's the June one.
That's June.
Yeah, or July one next year.
no,
July.
that's this one in September is the national tournament.
Mm-mm. Not the Cabela's one.
Text that Romeo sent me. Text that Romeo.
He sent me something.
Flyer for next year.
Oh my God, because he sent me totally different information then.
It was
Sounds like Romeo.
Yeah.
He told me not to say anything. And then he sent me a text like 3 days later and said,
Well, he's told everyone. He's my backdoor neighbor. He's already told me.
All over.
That's a surprise.
But I was trying not to tell anybody.
Only one.
But I'll tell you.
But in any case, for all upcoming fishing tournaments, especially the walleye tours, if we could all do better, if anybody is ever down there when they're launching and loading, if you could make note how many people are actually power loading and not, and let me know, I would really appreciate that. Because they were doing it, it was rampant at this last one. And that's just not something that we can abide by. So,
oh, I see what you saw. You saw the big text on the bottom, the one that's in Green Bay. It's actually July 10th and 11th, 2025, Lake Huron. Huron Lake, they'll probably call it.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, maybe.
Are there signs about power loading?
Yes, there are.
That's something that ends up going to the police, or is that something that kind of starts with you? And
It's going to start with me and then go to the police.
Where are the signs? I'm trying to picture them in my head.
They should all be down right by the launch docks.
Are they on the launch docks?
Not on the launch docks, but next to them, yeah. And if,
But I've ever noticed a sign when I've been down there, so maybe larger signage.
yeah, new signage.
So now you know what to do it.
Well, I
So
don't,
when you pull up, there's a,
my boat's too easy to.
oh no, that's not in here. Never mind.
because if you pull the motor, you wouldn't see the sign, right? But if you unloaded, you'd see the sign, but not loading.
I think if they were on the end of the dock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get some big ones for the opposite sides of the docks.
Do we think with that walleye tournament in the works, I mean, do we feel like we can accommodate that kind of parking level? Because we were just chatting about it before we all got started, because we just use the city hall parking and move to Armory Building and just keep on moving down. Do we just designate city parking lots for that, or does it just kind of free for all once you get beyond a certain point?
I think we're going to have to designate additional parking lots for it, starting with the city hall parking lot.
Start with that one, and then, like I said, move out to some of these other ones, sure.
Yeah.
The Facebook post I seen was like a guaranteed 150 boats, which is way more than what the last one was.
I
The
think,
last one was 101.
To say, I thought he did 100 boats or 100 and whatever back here. So
Yeah.
yeah, 150 is gonna.
Be a little bit more. Well,
Do they all kind of go out at the same time?
They're
it's very
go
well
out in two runs, but they don't go out all at one time. They're one after another. They don't take off like the brown trout where they all take off at one time.
We were over in Boyne City for Boyne Thunder, and there on the busy days when you're launching your boat, which I mean, it's a bunch of just everybody's launching boats. They had volunteers helping get boats off trailers and on trailers, which may help with the power loading issue too. But I don't know if they're all coming back at the same time. Or is it kind of,
Yeah, they all have to be back.
I don't know if you could get volunteers to help.
seems like an
Their
amazing
boats.
opportunity for Alpena Agency to,
But anyways, I don't know if that would help with the power loading too.
It might. We'll have to work with Romeo, yeah.
yeah.
Stand on a dock all day.
On to Harbor Master's report.
Now that everything is slowing down, we've started to pick up on some of the improvements and projects that we kind of left in the lurch right after the busy season started. So we're just going to keep Sorry. We're just gonna keep working on all of the different projects that we had started at the beginning of the season. We're still going through a couple of personnel changes, and so I'm hoping the new guy will be starting the 27th, 28th, maybe somewhere in there. And I've also started doing my own patrolling through the parking lots to catch people with not paying their launch fees and everything, and that's been actually working out pretty well. So I think everyone is starting to get the hint that they can't just use it how they want to anymore. And then it's just kind of cracking down on all the boats that keep randomly showing up in the parking lot, especially when they don't have trailer plates on them. So that's going to be fun. Other than that, I hate to use the analogy, but it's kind of smooth sailing.
What was the issue Mo showed me in the email? I think maybe I had my old one, but there's something to do with the pump out.
The pump out just kind of stopped working for a little while, and we had our DPW crew down there for about 2.5 days. Yeah, give or take. And they kind of just diagnosed the whole system and replaced a couple of things, and we got it working again. So we're back to pumping out, just dandy.
Was it an electrical issue or what did they
It
diagnose?
was like a little bit of a mechanical issue.
Okay. Any questions regarding Harbor Master report?
So what's your list of projects you're working on?
Oh, currently we are going to be starting another little project to finish updating the fish cleaning house. We're going to improve the dividers that are in there. Probably going to give it a really good deep clean and start building a couple of new benches, probably a little table in the corner, and try to figure out if we have enough space to put in a tiny little like weigh-in station. It may not be feasible, but you never know. And then we still have a little bit of work to finish up getting the storefront ready. And then we'll be moving forward with putting in a city-owned and operated little convenience store. So we'll be hopefully ready to open that up in the spring.
What's the plan with the transient docks with the spuds being all out of whack and all the fingers being all crooked and stuff?
So closer to the end of the season, NOAA is going to bring back one of their vessels, and we're going to lift the spuds with the crane because we can't get to them with the spud puller since the docks are so crooked. And so once we're kind of in the clear as far as those slips being used, we're just going to get in there, pull the spuds real quick, and flatten everything out. Because like that entire fuel dock section is essentially out of whack. So we can only get to so many of them with the spud puller.
Okay.
So, and NOAA is the only organization in this area that I know of that has machinery big enough to get out there and pull them.
Aren't there issues? Isn't your
Yeah, something's up with
docks
mine
are
too. I don't know.
right? I feel like all the docks need to be addressed with the spuds.
I want to say they all need to be addressed every spring. Because with the freeze thaw that it gets in the marina without having bubblers or anything throughout the whole place, everything just gets a little crooked. So,
Okay.
And that's something we're going to try to stay on top of next year, just kind of flattening everything out before the first frost this year, and then making sure we're back out there getting it done before the boats get in next year.
Okay.
Seems like the geese weren't as bad this year.
No, we actually put up a couple of these like spinny things that flashed light all around and looked weird for geese. And it kept the population away from the marina until someone took it. So
There was a, I bet you over by the radio station, there had to be 50 walking in that field over there.
Yeah, and so like next year we actually had a little meeting about it, and we're gonna try to get a little, like, I guess, volunteer form together so that people can.
Spinner program.
Yeah,
How much?
I like, they're like $30 a pop.
I think one of my dock where the Yingling is, that's for sure the ducks are bad.
Yeah, the ducks are bad down where the anglings are.
It's just no winning for losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea though.
But yeah, like we're hoping that we can get enough people interested so that people like go and place them all throughout the city, like along the bypass, all the other parks, throughout the marina, so on and so forth. Because they actually worked really, really well. So it's just a matter of
Sell them at the convenience store.
maybe. The biggest drawback of those things is that you got to move them like every 5 to 7 days, or else the geese just get used to it and come back anyways.
The other thing I noticed was the crew did a good job on the telescopes on the break wall. I went there a couple times to spray for spiders and stuff, and they had it all cleaned up. So it was really nice. Compared to last year, it was a mess. So they did a good job.
Well, thank you.
Expected them to do that.
I will let them know. It is a part of our job to clean and maintain the break wall.
Yeah, and
I think one of the other little tiny projects is fixing all of the cement and filling in the holes down the break wall.
yeah, they also did a good job on pulling all the weeds along the Prentice side, and they did a good job. I saw them a couple times in the mornings walking down, just brushing for spiders.
Thank you. I'll let them know. We still got to finish slips 24 through 34, I believe, on that side, but we're getting there.
You know, like I was in Skill, and that's the morning job to walk down. They had some guys' morning job is to walk down every docks, spider with a brush. Never ending project.
Goose poop and spider webs.
Mm-hmm. Big project.
Did Bliss Painting ever get back to you about?
No, I got to call him. I talked to him about it.
All right. They never got a hold of me either.
Yeah, Steve just said they got $3,000 worth of.
I told him two.
All right.
He was just looking at our budget line.
Yeah.
We do it now, it's just after July 1, so we've got some money.
So I'm going to call Bliss next week and see what he's got to take his cherry picker down there, he said, and do some.
Yeah.
So I'll call him and see if I can get him moving.
All right.
And then we'll figure out how much it is, and I'll get the rest of the money.
Any updates on any of the boats parked, the derelict boats?
The Chris Craft.
Yes. I am now the responsible member for having the certificates of scrapping. And so I've been starting to put together an RFP to any and all local scrappers and other businesses so that they can come and remove all 3 vessels.
So was it not possible to sell them?
No.
Auction them off, sorry.
We tried, and the auction company that we worked with refused to auction them off without having the original copies of the form that the Secretary of State sends us. And since we cannot give them that form for legal reasons, refused to sell the boats. And I honestly believe it's just because they would never get enough money for the boats to make it worth auctioning them off. And I think the smaller, the 36-foot Chris Craft, both motors are seized. There's absolutely nothing else of value on that thing. The 42-footer, the whole thing is trashed, but the motors turn over. But they're only worth about maybe $500 a piece on a good day. And the little sailboat, it's filled with just mold and garbage and does not have a motor. So that's not really worth a whole heck of a lot either.
Is there a covered sailboat, a nicer sailboat there too?
Couple of them.
What's the deal with those? I just never,
One of them has not paid the city for, I think, about 3 years. And so we've been reaching out and trying to get a hold of him to work out a plan so that we can come to an amicable agreement to get his boat back in the water. And the other one, the Australis, he works on a trawler or a tugboat in the Great Lakes region and did not have enough time to come launch his boat and use it. So he paid for summer storage.
So is this the other boat that you're in negotiations with? Is it, I mean, are they responding to you or are you getting ghosted on it?
We're getting ghosted.
So what would be the
The next step
process?
is going to be getting with our city clerk, and I want to say it's probably going to be another notice, and then after that, small claims court.
Okay.
And if that fails, then going to report his boat as abandoned.
does somebody own Firewater?
Yes. A man named Matthew Kint, Kindt. He has not paid me for broadside storage yet. It's bugging me, but I'm trying to give him a break because he says he's been working with the Alpena Youth Sailing Club to donate the boat to them.
He'll never take it.
All right, I'm going to pull his boat tomorrow.
You're talking about Firewater?
Yeah.
No,
No.
that's never going to happen.
Should have talked to you sooner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he bought it from somebody named Kate.
Yeah, that's his mother. So
Oh.
he inherited it.
He inherited it. It's, yeah. He's got an invoice. I've talked to him a number of times, but
The one thing I had thought when we walked down for brown trout was, you got all these people and then we got this terrible looking boat literally right next to it.
yeah.
So I don't know in the future if, even if it's just for that week, we can float it somewhere else so it's not
You don't want your
on
ugly
display.
boats here.
I mean,
Right? I know what you're saying. All the ugly boats we'll put over on the riverside. No, I get what you're saying. No, it sounds kind of bad.
No, appearances are important.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know.
But anyway, that's the scoop on that boat.
Yeah.
Comes to Youth Sailing Club.
You got it.
that's all I got.
All right. Any other? We'll kind of call that member comments if that's okay with everyone. Any public? Well, there's no members of public, technically, roughly. Bueller. Staff comments. All right, well, if there's no staff comments, we can move on to the next meeting is slotted for September 5th. And then can I get a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All right. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, we're adjourned. Thanks, guys.